y'all. Give me just a minute to get this sent out on social media, and then we will get started. We're aiming to start around 9:35. Austin, glad to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you, dear. Glad that you like the new music. Hey, Dwayne. Share this on Facebook. Let me know where y'all are watching from. We will get started in just a minute. Got a whole lot to talk about. Easier tonight, so able to get on a little bit earlier. We're going to get started at 9:35. It is 9:35 and we got snow. It's flying right now outside Casa de la Smith here in London. There are flakes flying. We are seeing a little bit of snow across the region tonight. Let me know what you're seeing in your neck of the woods. This is meteorologist Shane Smith. I'm glad to see y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about my updated snow forecast, and yes, the numbers have went up a little bit, especially down in the higher elevations. So let me know where you're joining from. Glad to have everybody here. And let's get started. So here's the snowfall map. We're going to go into a little bit more detail in just a little bit, but for everybody just logging on, this is the updated forecast. So it has went up a little bit, especially in the higher elevations. This could actually be a pretty good snow up on Blacker Pine Mountain. It's everywhere else that there's still a lot of questions out there about how this plays out. And frankly, I'm still not completely sold that everybody gets measurable snow. Do some people? Absolutely. Think 110% a large chunk of the state is going to see flakes fly. The question is, do those flakes stick to the ground? Already got our first question this evening coming from my buddy Austin Kendrick over in Pikeville, Kentucky. Is the snow going to fly tonight? Yes, Austin, it is. I just don't know how much is going to stick tonight. Let's talk about why that is. Here is a look at Radar Omega. And Radar Omega, God love it, the radar algorithms struggle a little bit, especially when it comes to rain snow depiction. Mainly because the surface temperature is still well above freezing. In fact, let's go ahead and just pop up current temperatures across the area right now. We're going to be close to current. This was what the models initialized at. Mid 30s, low 30s. Freezing line still back towards the Kentucky River. So that gives you at least a little idea what the temperatures are doing out there. But we are seeing flakes fly. I have seen ground truth on those flakes. In fact, we can take a look at that current air temperature over on the Kentucky Mesonet. Give me just 1 second. We'll pull that up. Hey, Sean, good to see you, buddy. Dwayne saying mainly rain over in Perry County, and that honestly does not surprise me, buddy, because it's still well above freezing over in Perry County. Some of the local Mesonet sites just north over in Breathitt County still showing upper 30s showing up down in Letcher County, although at Harlan County on Black Mountain, it is 27 degrees right now. So at 4,000 feet up above most of eastern Kentucky, we are now about 5 degrees below freezing. So the column of air above us is below freezing now. So that is something to take note of. So anything that's hitting the ground as rain, it's because the air temperature at the surface is still above freezing across a lot of the state. But you'll notice a couple of 31s, a couple of 32s showing up along the Ohio River. So that colder air is starting to move in, and that will allow that snow to transition. Brandon Marcy down in Gatlinburg waiting on it. Yeah, Gatlinburg, especially in the mountains above town, they may get a foot out of this, Brandon. It's going to be, to borrow my friend Ryan Hall saying, it's going to be plumb wild down in the mountains of East Tennessee. Chief Lindsay asking, is there work tomorrow? Yes, Chief, we are probably working at school tomorrow and probably Tuesday? Question mark. We'll get to that in just a second. Austin Kendrick asking, do you think there'll be snow all day in Pikeville tomorrow? Off and on. I don't think it's going to be just nonstop snow all the time tomorrow, Austin. But I do think we are going to see rounds of snow showers. And here's why. We're going to Radar Omega. And you can see there is a big area of low pressure back off to our north near Chicago. I'm going to go ahead and set the radar to loop over the last couple hours. And you're going to see that area of low pressure just spinning away. In fact, the lake effect machine is just ripping up around the greater Chicago area right now. And that cold air is getting pulled down. That is a very potent area of low pressure that is currently off to our north, and it is diving southward. And as it moves into Kentucky tomorrow, it's going to drag a lot of that moisture from the Great Lakes down. You're going to see some enhanced lift because of that area of low pressure. And I think we're going to get some outright snow squalls tomorrow afternoon, friends. And snow squalls can mean business. You can put down quite a bit of snow in a short amount of time in some of those squalls. I think tomorrow afternoon and evening is going to be what to watch out for as all that cold air and moisture comes racing off the Great Lakes and then hits those mountains and gets enhanced and gets lifted. It's what we call upslope snow, and I think it's going to flat dump up in the higher elevations. The question is, can we cool it off enough, quick enough for it to stick? That is the question which this meteorologist is pondering right now. Okay, winter weather tomorrow, winter weather advisory that is for the counties highlighted in pink. That includes Pike County, Letcher County, Harlan County, and Bell County here in Kentucky, mainly for the higher elevations above 2,000 feet. This is the area that could just get flat out hammered with snow tomorrow evening. If you got to travel Black or Pine Mountain tomorrow evening, just know it could get really treacherous really quickly. Elsewhere in the lower elevation, those counties definitely could get some squalls, definitely could get a little bit of snow. I think if we're going to see widespread accumulation, it's going to be in those 4 counties. The question is just how much further west and north do we put that snow on the ground and keep it on the ground? That's the key thing. Because even if we dump a lot of snow in a short amount of time, can we get enough cooling at the surface to happen to keep it on the ground? That's the big question. Now, forecast for tomorrow morning. You are going to wake up. Snow showers will likely be flying across most of Kentucky. We're going to take a look at that future radar in just 1 second. But we're going to be in the mid 20s for air temperatures. Wind chills tomorrow morning, upper teens. Bundle up and make sure the kiddos are bundled up as they head out to the bus stop tomorrow morning. And don't send them out until the last possible minute, because that wind chill is going to be frigid by November standards. Yeah, in January, we're used to wind chills in the 20s. Big whoop. November, we haven't yet acclimated to the cold. That wind is going to cut right through you tomorrow morning, friends. And then the highs tomorrow, low to mid 30s. In fact, we may not cross the freezing mark in London tomorrow if that snow is falling heavy enough and those clouds stay thick enough. And the afternoon is the time frame I am most concerned about snow accumulation. Dwayne asking what the ground temperature is right now. Dwayne, we're going to take a look at that in just 1 second. Just hang with me, brother. James Betty down in Barberville saying snow is flying. A lot of places want to see that. All right. Let's get to the forecast. We'll get to those ground temperatures in just a minute. There is a lot of data to kind of parse through and work through. So let's talk about what happens tonight. Here is the HRRR forecast model. This is the high resolution rapid refresh model. This is kind of my personal favorite model for short-term forecasting. It only goes out 48 hours, but by golly, it sees everything at 1 kilometer resolution. This one's usually pretty good in this kind of a setup. Now here's what it's showing. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Scattered snow showers. Not everyone's seeing snow in the morning, but there will be pockets of it out there, and it could cause a few little traffic delays. Probably not going to see those squalls that will put down that quick accumulation on the roads, but all this melting will be occurring to help cool the ground off. Now, as we go into late morning and early afternoon, you start to notice those pockets of darker blue. That's where some of those snow squalls start showing up. And I think the best chance of those will honestly be in the afternoon and evening. And the question is, how much snow do we see fall during those squalls? Tuesday morning, I think we see a little lingering snow action early in the morning. By lunchtime, we dry things up. And you'll notice that snow gets out of here pretty quickly. Now, let's take a look at the models. And these models do not take into account melting. So that's something to keep in mind. This is total snowfall, not snow accumulation. We'll get to the accumulation part of that in just a second, so hang with me, y'all. I know this is a complicated forecast. So the HRRR model, that model we just looked at, if taken verbatim and it had no melting going on, Somerset, you'd see 2 inches of snow. Western parts of Pulaski County, you may see 4. Chief, down around Jellicoe, about 1 inch. Brandon, down in Gatlinburg, 8 to 12 inches up in the mountains along the North Carolina border. Down here in eastern Kentucky, Black Mountain, 5-6 inches, assuming no melting. Now, that's the key thing. No melting. We are going to melt a bit. Let's look at some of the other models, because the HRRR is honestly on the higher end of the model output. European model, a little bit more conservative. 1/2 inch for a large chunk of the state, 1 or 2 inches in the mountains. GFS, a little bit more aggressive in the higher elevations, a little bit more aggressive northeastern Kentucky, showing Cincinnati picking up 2 inches. We'll have to wait and see about that. I'm not sold on that just yet, but it's a possibility. The German model, the Icon model, showing 1 inch for Lexington, 3-4 inches Black Mountain, 1.5 inches in Pikeville. NAM, North American Mesoscale model, the old version, 3 inches in the higher elevations. You go to the high-res version, how about 10 inches on the top of Black Mountain? Down there, woo, doggy. If that model is right, Ober-Gatlinburg, look out. 40 inches? No way. That would be incredible. Not buying that. Yeah, 37 inches right there. Don't know if you'll see that, but good luck down in Tennessee in the higher elevations. That'd be wild by November standards. And even here in eastern Kentucky, like higher elevations along the Bell County, Harlan County border, 2 to 4 inches. Black Mountain, 10 inches. Dorton probably picking up 2 or 3 inches if this model was right and if there was no melting. Now, you keep hearing me say the whole if there is no melting. Well, let's switch over and take a look at the soil temperature. If this was January and we had been below freezing for a couple weeks now, this would be a slam dunk, easy forecast. Mother Nature says not so fast, hotshot. Here is your current ground temperature. I'm going to zoom this in so you can see this a little better. Out of the Pulaski County Mesonet site, air temperature 33 degrees, ground temperature at 2 inches deep, 52 degrees. Even in northern Kentucky, where we are now at or below freezing, the coolest reading I can find is over at Ballard County at 44 degrees. So they're going to have to cool things down another 12 degrees there to get snow to stick. Are we getting a lot of snow in Pike County? Christy Keene asking. Christy, thanks for joining us. Snow's going to fly tonight and tomorrow. I think by the time all is said and done, most of Pike County ends up with maybe an inch, 2 on the high side, especially in the southern end of the county. Maybe even down around Dorton, you may push 2 or 3 inches. Up in Pikeville proper, inch-ish. Not going to warm too much Tuesday, Austin. We'll talk about the temperature forecast in just a minute. So there is the soil temperature at 2 inches deep, my friends. So we've got to cool that ground off about another 10 to 15 degrees before this stuff starts sticking good. And that ground does not cool off as quickly as the air does. Now, we are going to drop a lot of snow in there. There's going to be melting, so cooling processes will be going on. We will drop these temperatures. But this is the map you want to check tomorrow to start to figure out, are we getting close to it sticking or not? Now, yes, snowfall rates can exceed. You can put a slushy accumulation down for a little bit. That ground's still going to melt some of it. So this is going to be the map to check out tomorrow. You can find this kymesonet.org. Go under their other section, soil temperature. This is going to be a critical map to watch tomorrow. All right, back to the snow data on the models. So as you see, the kind of consensus is Black and Pine Mountain going to get it good. Down in the mountains of Tennessee, above Gatlinburg, the Smokies, probably going to get a pretty significant hit. The HRRR, which is my favorite model for this type of setup, showing some pretty gnarly snow squalls tomorrow. The question is, does the snow last? And does it stick? All right, so here we go. Let's talk temperatures. This is the wind chill tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. 23 Pikeville, 19 and 17 in parts of Laurel County, 18 Lexington. Burr, afternoon, wind chills in the 20s. By the time you walk out of school or work tomorrow, feels like temperatures lower 20s. Dress warmly tomorrow, friends. We go into Tuesday morning. Low 20s. Some of the models are going even colder than this, and then we should warm back up mid to upper 30s for air temperature Tuesday. Here's another wind chill forecast. This one from the NAM. This one was looking a little colder earlier, so I figured I'd pull this up and look at it for Tuesday morning. Yeah. How about a balmy 15 degrees, 13 degrees in London, 14 Somerset, 14 Lexington, 17 Pikeville Tuesday morning, according to the NAM model. We're likely going to see wind chills lower to mid-teens Tuesday morning. Burr, 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 burr. So the cold is heading our way. The snow is heading our way. Let's break down the updated forecast. Now, some disclaimers on this forecast. This will likely be maximum accumulation at any given point. I do not think you're going to see more than this at any given point, and when it stops snowing, the melting will start. So along the I-65 corridor, Bowling Green to E-Town to Louisville, flakes are going to fly. Little to no accumulation. You may get some on the grass, some on the rooftops, some on the cars. I don't think if you get snow, it's going to last very long. We get into central Kentucky around Frankfort, down to Campbellsville, down to Russell Springs, Somerset, Monticello. Can we get a slushy coating out of this? Absolutely. Is it going to last very long? I don't think so. Maybe down in Monticello, Somerset, you may get up to an inch, but once the snow stops, the melting's going to start. Eastern Kentucky, I'm keeping the total, or I've moved the totals a little higher just because of the potential of the upslope snow Monday night into Tuesday morning being a little stronger than what I think the models are picking up on. If we get a good moisture fetch off the Great Lakes, I think it may overproduce a little bit. Could that be enough to put down up to 2 inches in some spots late Monday night, early Tuesday morning? Yes. Do most spots see that? No. Notice that is up to 2 inches. That also means nothing is a possibility in that range. I think you see snow. I think there's some slushy accumulation. Is it more than just a coating? I'm not going to say the D word. Possibly, but you may end up with nothing. I think you get at least a little something. I think flakes are definitely going to fly. It's just, can we overcome that warm ground enough to put down some accumulation? If we do get anything, I think an inch to 2 inches is possible. And you may check out the Weather Service forecast. They're a little bit more aggressive than me. They were at least earlier. Camden right now, safe to drive. Tonight, absolutely should have no issues. Road temperatures are going to be good, except be careful on the bridges and overpasses that aren't treated. That's the only issue tonight, is bridges and overpasses. Monday night into Tuesday, once again, bridges and overpasses are the biggest problem. Although I think in the higher elevations, that's where you could start to see a few more slick roads. But like down here in London, Corbin, the only thing I'd be worried about is bridges and overpasses and like untreated back roads that are like super shady, as in they don't see sun. Let's talk about down along the Kentucky-Virginia border. This is where I struggled on the forecast a little bit. I went ahead and added a little area in parts of Harlan and Letcher County to account for the higher terrain of Black Mountain and the higher potential snowfall along the peaks of the Virginia border. I'm going to call 3 to 6 inches up there. That is above 2,000 feet. Whitesburg, Harlan, Dorton, you guys, inch or two most likely. Eastern Bell County, the mountains along the Harlan County border, maybe 2 to 3 inches. Could somebody pick up a Renegade 4-inch down there? Yeah, not out of the realm of possibility, but once again, just taking that melting into account, I can't go much more aggressive than that. That's about as, this is as high as I feel comfortable in this kind of a setup, pushing the snow forecast. Like I said, if this was January and the ground was already froze over, I would feel a lot more confident in this forecast. But we're not there yet. So I don't want to go throwing crazy snowfall totals. And yeah, that snow may fall, but half of it melts. This is, I think, maximum accumulation you will see. Am I ready for snow? Austin, I'm as ready as I'm going to be. It's a little early in the season, not going to lie. Typically, I prefer, if we're going to talk about the potential of snow days, for it to be after Christmas break. As far as potential of snow days, I think most schools are going to be fine tomorrow. Tuesday could be an issue in Letcher County, Pike County, and Harlan County. Other counties, it's just going to depend on how heavy that snow is Monday night and can the road crews keep the roads in decent shape. It would not surprise me if a few districts have delays on Tuesday, but we'll just have to see how things play out tomorrow. We'll have a much better idea about that tomorrow night. Other questions and thoughts? We've been going 27 minutes now. That's a long video for me. You can tell it's a long video. The viewership is dropping like a rock. Once again, if you're just joining us, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. We've got snow flying across portions of Kentucky tonight. The best chance of accumulation happens tomorrow afternoon and evening, as some pretty intense snow squalls are likely going to set up shop across portions of central, southern, and eastern Kentucky. And if we're going to get good accumulation out of this system, it's going to be tomorrow afternoon and evening. Because you got this big old area, low pressure, spinning up near Chi-Town. And it is going to drop into the Ohio Valley tomorrow morning and afternoon. So all that snow and all that moisture is going to come down off the Great Lakes, and that is going to make a beeline for eastern Kentucky. But as I've said before, the big limiting factor is going to be the warm ground. Ground temperatures are in the 40s and 50s right now. So we're going to have to cool that ground off about 15 to 20 degrees to get this stuff to stick good. Questions, comments, thoughts? We are coming up on the half-hour mark, and if there are no more questions, we will probably cut it off right at 30 minutes. All right, so guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will try to have a quick update tomorrow morning before I head off to school. Tomorrow afternoon, I might be able to post a few updates on the Facebook page, but probably not going to be able to do a video again until tomorrow evening, and that may be questionable. We're taking a little trip tomorrow evening, so internet may be spotty. Always happy to help you guys out. If you like what we are doing here, be sure to hit that like or subscribe button depending on the platform you are watching on. And if you're joining us after the fact, share this content. Let folks know what I'm calling for. I know I'm just one in a chorus of voices, and a lot of folks are saying a lot of different things. Folks, I've been doing this most of my life, or at least been watching the weather in Kentucky most of my life. Been doing this professionally now for about 15 years. I know weather in southeastern Kentucky. This is nothing we haven't seen before. Yes, it's a little early in the season. Yes, it's a little bit of an unusual setup. That's what makes it a little bit tricky, but that's why I'm here, bringing you the best forecast I can, utilizing that knowledge, and not somebody that didn't grow up here and isn't used to watching the weather around here. So I'm happy to help you guys out and share my expertise and give you all another source of weather information to look at. All right. Well, until next time, friends, be sure to stay weather aware. Take care out there. Be careful if you got to go driving tomorrow afternoon or evening. Those snow squalls could cause some quick whiteout conditions and put some quick accumulation down on those roadways. They usually don't last too long, but they can cause some problems quickly. And if you get into one of them, Just kind of pull over, let it blow on by, and things should improve quickly once it wraps up. All right, that's all I have for you right now. I'll have updates as I can tomorrow. Till next time, friends.